but their marketing tactic certainly worked on me. And that happens like most people. 75% of Americans will say that they have actually purchased something through some type of social media platform due to their advertising. I find that to be interesting. That's a huge number to me that, most people, you sitting in a row and most people have fallen down that trap. And welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you grow and build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Ericka Young. And we're so glad you're joining us today.
All right, y'all, let's get into it.
Hey, babe. How are you?
I am doing great.
Good. Me too.
Good.
No complaints today.
Great is a good place to be.
Yes.
But I guess if we weren't doing great, will we really come on and say, today sucks?
You know what? I think
we would.
I think we should. If we have a bad day, it's okay.
Yeah,
I think
we would.
Sometimes that's how it is.
I think we keep it real, keep it 100 with the people.
I was struggling when our dog was sick. So,
Yeah.
Okay. I know you don't understand. It's okay. I know that wasn't your situation, but I'm just saying.
Look, I just don't. I mean, people grew up with pets. Some people love pets, but I just don't think worse of me.
It's just not your jam.
Yeah, it's not my jam. We got a dog. He a good dog.
Dog lovers unite upon it.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep it moving.
Moving
though.
on.
Moving on.
So I'm excited to talk about this topic because I think there's room for confession amongst us and also our listeners because
if anybody says that they haven't done this, they lying.
They lying through their teeth.
You lying.
So we're going to talk about how TikTok made me buy it. Or it could be Instagram or possibly Facebook or any other social media of your choice. And yeah, we get influenced. And I think it can be a budget buster. It can be completely unnecessary, or literally it could be your phone listening to you when you're having a conversation about what's going on in your life. And then something magically pops up to say, hey, you need me.
It's that monitoring in the background.
Dude,
it's that algorithm.
Oh my gosh. I am it trips me out that I'll say a word and it will say, you know what? I have the answer. I think that's what happened last night, babe. We were talking about, you like me to scratch your back. You know what I mean? And then my phone pulled up a back scratcher. It did. It gave me
I turned my phone off.
We should, because I think it will change the way that thing works because it's listening. Our phones are listening.
Or I'll even go on Google and search something, and then I'll go into one of my social media pages and be like, oh,
there it is.
Here's an ad for what I just searched online.
Right. And I've been searching for this one particular suit that I purchased, and I'm getting advertisement on both my computer and on my phone. You know what I mean? So I go
for that maker or
for that exact suit.
Wow.
And so it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
But I think that goes to the fact that social media is shaping consumer behavior, and it is such a big influencer. And I know that, TikTok is the government is looking at it. It's in the crosshairs of the government, but people creatives are on TikTok making money, and a lot of people are on there selling stuff.
More power to them. But I think that the challenge that I have, and this is a challenge I have with myself. I'm not just saying for anybody else, but I'm just saying it can distract you from the real things or your priorities. Mm-hmm. And I find
it's easy to do.
It's so easy to do. It's why am I now looking at my social media doing all this shopping per se, because it's coming up on my social media, which prior to looking for this particular suit, I wasn't doing that.
But it's funny, as many times as you're on social and you're scrolling, no matter if it's TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, you're gonna hit a million ads.
Yeah.
It's like you're either gonna scroll ad, watch something, ad in the middle of it.
YouTube. I follow a couple of people who do at-home workouts. And so sometimes I'll do an at-home workout while I'm stretching, or I want to just get a couple of ideas or just have their music in the background or whatever. And but in between, they will have, an ad, right? And it'll be based on something I search for or what have you. And I'm just like, this is amazing to me. And I'm always like, okay, let me skip this when I can get to skipping. But they do force you to watch at least 4 or 5 seconds of it. So you already know what it is.
That 5-second countdown.
Yeah, I mean, they are in our business.
Yeah. I think, it really has just changed the whole game of how you take a product to market, because people can put these short snippets on these social media platforms and you see it over and over and over. And if it catches your attention, then maybe you click on it and you go and you start to look at it. Or like, I have a perfect example, like a friend of ours, he bought some glasses and I was like, oh, those are kind of cool. And then he bought another pair, and then I looked, and now they're on my feed all the time.
Weren't you looking for them though, or was it before you were looking for them?
I don't even think I had started looking for them.
But somebody said the word when your phone was listening.
Yeah, somehow it came up on my feed. Then I was like, well, I saw them in real life, and they were cool. Then I started looking at them, and now it's like every other ad, and I'm on the brink of buying a pair. I was like, man, I'm almost about to press that.
Yep.
Purchase button. And that's why I said, if you say you didn't do this, you out there lying.
So what did you buy off of social media? What influenced you to actually make a purchase?
TikTok got me on one thing, because I don't know, we were preparing for a trip, and I was like, I need another phone case, just a little, dink around phone case, and lo and behold, a little phone case popped up on my timeline. I was like, oh, this look kind of cool. Looked at it, it was $7. I was like, oh, and it's cheap. It was protective and it was cheap. And I was like, you know what? It's $7. And I bought it. And it came, and it's fine. It's not great.
It's worth $7.
Yeah, but I was like, man, just imagine how many $7 phone cases they sold and how many millions that could have generated. And I was like, man, they got me.
Did you use that phone case?
I didn't even use it.
You didn't even use it. So
I didn't even use the phone case.
Don't that sound interesting? Because we watch Shark Tank. We historically for many years watched Shark Tank religiously, and the golden number was to make $1 million. You know what I mean? To hit this big number, and when you think about it, these people might not even use the product they purchased. They just got sucked in because they were like, "Oh, I need this
from me."
Yeah, for this vacation or whatever it is. And they didn't miss $7. It wasn't a huge deal. They just needed, 300,000 people to actually buy that $7 product.
You know what? This reminded me though, because I know some of this stuff is scams. And I was on TikTok one day and I saw this thing. I was like, I know for a fact this is a scam. But I was so intrigued. I tried to buy something.
What was it?
It was, look, and people who are on TikTok, you know this, you've seen this. It's this giant, tool chest table thing full of tools. I was like, this is this is a scam. That is a couple $1,000s in real life. And it was like $60, $70. I was like, they are making this in China. I'm going to buy it just because I want to explore it. And my credit card was like, possible fraud, and it would not let me buy it.
It's like, you know what? It protected you from you.
It did.
Because you probably would have spent $69 or whatever it was.
And it would have came, and I'd have been like, this is some garbage.
Or it wouldn't have came.
Right.
Or it would not have shown
up. And I knew it was a scam, but I was like laughing about it because I was like, there is no way.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm willing to almost throw the $70 away to see.
Yeah.
But, don't throw your money away like that.
So I will say that my most recent purchase from a social media ad was Black Girl Vitamins. So because
they got you.
They got me because I needed to start taking.
Well, hold on. Don't say any more names. Like
Oh, okay.
they're not paying us. So
You're right. Okay, so some vitamins, supplements.
It's too late, but
But you know what? But that I think is relevant because first of all, I actually was intrigued by the name. They got me there.
Yep.
But I think it heard me say, or I was talking to a healthcare provider that was like, you need to have omega-3s in your diet and turmeric for anti-inflammatory properties.
And they were right up your alley with their marketing.
Yeah, because they had omega-3s. And I was like, oh, I don't have a source today for omega-3s. I probably could have just gone to the drugstore or somewhere
close.
Some
omega-3s at CVS.
But my phone pulled up.
Yes. These vitamins.
Exactly. And so I was like, oh, cool. So then I look and see everything they have. And I did some research and then I'm like, ooh, are they getting results? Ooh, I went further. So I would never, there was not another place that I heard of this company except for on social media. And then but I explored and explored and explored. And I was like,
I think that.
And then I bought them.
I think that's in part because if you think about how social media has changed things. Like traditionally, you would have to have a marketing company, have a marketing campaign, and and pay to be in a print advertisement or on television or in whatever medium you would want to do that. But now you can start a company and you can start a social media account on Instagram or TikTok or whatever and just start putting out snippets or ads or pay for ads on those platforms. And you reach so many more people. And think about if they got you like that, think about how many more people were intrigued by the name and then they were roped in and it's by all accounts, it's a good product.
Right. I mean, I haven't had any issues with it. As a matter of fact, I do feel like that I have had, a little bit more energy and all that. Anyway, the one thing that I noticed, because I went off social media to go check them out. The deal that they were running was only through the social media platform.
Wow.
So it
forced you to go back.
The cost was the same, but they had a special that they were only running through that social media platform. So you got a little bit better deal. And so I thought about that. I was like, that's very smart.
Yes.
Because that caused me to say, well, shoot, let me go back and do it this way because they're tracking where their customers are coming from. And I wanted the deal. I'm not going to leave a deal.
I wonder if the algorithm feeds or if there's some back end or something.
They definitely have all of that worked out.
Right. Okay? So it's like, it's pretty smart.
It is. And I actually subscribed. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna give this 3 months. And so it's interesting because it didn't turn out to be a scam for me, but their marketing tactic certainly worked on me. And that happens like most people. 75% of Americans will say that they have actually purchased something through some type of social media platform due to their advertising on that platform. And I find that to be interesting. That's a huge number to me that, most people, you sitting in a row and most people have fallen down that trap. And 10 years ago, not everybody even had these platforms to even participate in.
And I think part of this, like the viral marketing and the user generated, content, it drives it because then you see like people advertising it. And then there's different ads that come up. And then if you do go offline and you look at it on, your computer on a website or something, then you say, oh, this is legitimate. And then you start to see reviews or then you do your own independent research and you start saying, oh, okay, well, there is something here. And then when you go back to social, it just continues to come up. And so I think that kind of influences us. But I think what I really want to get into is how do you say no to these things? Because if your phone is listening and it's something they hear, it's something that you want or need, and then they start to market and advertise that to you on a daily basis, how do you say no when you're like, all right, I know this is something that I want or it's something that I need, and then you're being marketed to on a constant basis. Because like, I even know if I look up cars, I will see advertisements on my For You page or, curated for me that cater to those things that I'm interested in.
I think that you have to decide whether or not you need to say no. So if it's something you need, my whole thing is do some comparison shopping. Go somewhere else and just see, is this price, comparable? Is the quality what you want? Do some research. Don't just allow that social platform to tell you everything about this one particular, advertiser. I think
in the instance of my phone case, I probably would have said, you know what,
do some research.
This came from China. It's
Right. So, and I think that if you do some research, first of all, I think that that's important. I think if you need it, you go off and do that research. If you don't need it, I think there's this other part of the equation is if you just want this thing. Right. Did social media tell you to buy it versus you saying you needed the item? And I think that's the war that we always have in our budgets, right? Is, do I need this or do I want this? Is it worth it? Do I buy it? That kind of thing. And I think that people have to go through that same discussion, that same negotiating in their head or with their spouse about, do I need to buy this? Is this worth my time?
Look, here at the For Better and Worth podcast, we talk about relationships and money.
Yes.
This is highly money focused, but let's switch gears.
Okay.
Because this can mess some relationships up.
So
because it might not be TikTok or Instagram, and we talked about Amazon in the past, but you go to Amazon, it does the same thing.
Sure.
And if you're not saying no and you're following the impulse of what has been curated and marketed to you, it can take you down a road that you don't want to go down.
For sure.
And so when I think about saying no, I think about some of the bigger implications. Sure, a $7 phone case isn't going to cause, heartburn for us. Or even if I had wasted the $70 on this tool shed, which I'm sure was a scam,
I'd have been mad.
Yeah, because it's $70. And that would have been something. And I was like, well, man, am I willing to waste the $70 to...
I'll be honest, when you were talking about it, I had no idea it was $70 until right now today. I was today years old when I found out that cost.
Well, look at that.
You were willing to do it?
I was willing to do it because I was like, this is like $2,000 worth of tools. I was like, there's no way. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it was just an experiment.
Yeah, I think that's
what it was. It was more of an experiment for me because I just wanted to see.
I was going to say, did you feel like you needed it?
I didn't necessarily need it, but I just wanted to see because we joke, because I'm going to put him out there. My brother.
Oh, Lord.
He has bought so much stuff from Temu.
Lord have mercy.
And we said something to our daughters. They were like, no, Uncle, don't do it.
We got a picture of him with bags like this from Temu.
It was like, here's my Temu. And it's a bunch of stuff that he totally does not need. Mm-hmm. It's work gloves and just random stuff that... he had bags of it, but it came.
Yeah.
It took a couple weeks, but he finally got it.
There are a couple places that I see on social media that I don't want to buy from. I won't mention names. I guess you mentioned Temu, but there's a couple others that I'm like, I don't want to go down that path.
Everybody has seen Temu.
Yes, but it's Temu adjacent. Okay, some of these places, and I'm like, the quality can't be there. I don't want to waste my time. I think that's one thing. Honestly, you taught me. That's one thing you taught me is get quality, and
quality over quantity.
I have definitely adopted that here in the certainly in the last 10 years. Because I don't want cheap crap just because it's cheap. I think that, and so when I'm looking personally at some of these advertisements, because there's actually one right now, and there's one right now that's advertising to me, and I don't know. I know why they went down that path. I actually do know how they got down that path for me. Another supplement type of situation. But anyway, I started doing
research. You gotta be careful where you get like
you do
your supplements from.
Well, it's so interesting because I actually did a little research. One, on social media, it doesn't tell you how much it is, right? So they're just telling you the benefits or what you can experience or whatever. And then you have to go click in order to find out how much it really is. And I never did that. But I did see in the comments some of the people saying stuff about it that wasn't favorable. There's some who said it was, some who said it wasn't. And then I was turned off a little bit. But then I took it a step further and somebody asked a question, how much was it? And I was like, oh, there's no way I'm buying that. And it's,
when you found out the actual price of it.
Right. It was above a threshold that I had for stuff like that. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So, but I think it's interesting because when we're talking about needs and wants and how does it fit into our world, like part of me is like, I'm not about to be, coming to you like, babe, I got taken to the cleaners on this one.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do that. If I need something, let me go to a reputable source.
Yeah, I think you have to just, make that decision that I would rather, for the sake of our relationship, not have to explain some poor decision making.
Right.
And I would rather, if I need something that we know is a need and we budgeted for it, I'd rather just go to a reputable source and purchase that way. Some of the smaller, inconsequential purchases that are, $20, $30 or less, that's not going to change the course of life, I'm okay with. But if you put a bunch of those together and they
start adding up,
big purchases, it's like, well, hold on now, you've been doing this a little much, and that just can create contention in relationships. And then it's like, why you on social? You still scrolling, and then you like, you need to get off your phone. And I'm saying this just opens Pandora's box.
We have that conversation. We're like, all right, put the phone down.
Yeah, like haven't you had enough? Like tap. Like I'm going to put your phone in a lockbox or something.
Right. And so I think
put my phone in a lockbox because I'm just as guilty of it. So.
Yeah. We all have our moments where we're like, in the vortex. What is it called? The Lotus Hotel? Where you think you can't get out. That's how social media is. And if you're living in that world, you think it's real. You think
that's how you just get on that
purchase
constant
is real,
scroll.
Or the reels. I get into reel land. REEL.
Oh my God, if you send us another reel.
They're
on
funny.
The family text thread.
They're hilarious. And my kids,
me and the kids are like, here's another one.
Right. But they're funny. They're telling me to get on TikTok. I'm like, I'm not on TikTok.
No.
Everybody else is on TikTok.
Don't get on TikTok.
The kids said get on TikTok.
No, don't do it. No, we need her off TikTok right now.
I need to be off Instagram is what I need to be off of. And you need to be off Facebook. Let's be clear.
Well, between Facebook and TikTok, those are my go-tos.
Yeah, and I'm on Instagram, so we all got our thing.
Yeah, and I sprinkle Instagram in there too, but
yeah,
it's acceptable levels for the most part. But.
I want to know what acceptable levels are, but anyway. So, do you feel like you've been scammed by a social media purchase at all?
I think my phone case was I wouldn't say scam because I knew what I was getting. Mm-hmm. It was okay. I actually did make a purchase off social media recently, which I haven't gotten yet. So the verdict is out still because I'm waiting for my purchase to arrive, and it's actually taking a little bit longer than I anticipated.
Okay.
And here's what's interesting. You make a purchase and you see the ad and how they advertise. Then when I see the shipping, I was like, this is coming from China. Mm-hmm. And you don't have any clue in that process while you're making that purchase.
What are you waiting on?
It's just a little, cross-body thing for traveling, mm-hmm. just to have something, to avoid pickpockets, stuff like that. Mm. So I'm just waiting to see how that turns out.
It is taking a long time.
Yeah, it's surprising how long it's actually taking to ship.
That's taking a long time. Yeah, so I that would bother me. I feel like I need my stuff to come. That feels scam-ish because it's taking a long time and you wonder, is it really going to come? They've already charged your card, that kind of thing.
Well, I got a purchase I'm still waiting on that's been lingering, but I've seen this product in real life. It's some shoes, and I've tried them on in real life, and and it's a smaller company, but I complained, but they did right by me, so I'm being patient.
This is TBD. This is to be determined.
Yeah, you got like 9 days.
I don't think we're already there yet. So we shall see if this turns out.
So I got two purchases, to be continued.
I have nothing outstanding right now, and that thing that they're advertising for me right now, I am not about to buy. So here's the thing. I'm curious. I got to figure this out because I need to turn that one off. Do you know how to turn off the advertising? I think there is a way in your settings to actually control your ads of some sort. And I need to figure out how to turn this one off because I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah, there's gotta. Well, I don't know if you can
experiment. Put it in the comments. Let us know if you know how to turn them off, or at least
turn ads off. But
no, or give them some guidance. Like, all right, you've already advertised to me for like 2 weeks. Stop it. And then give me another advertiser. I don't mind that.
I think maybe on some of them you can, say you don't want to see these.
I need to figure that out.
I know there's a way on some of the social media platforms where you say you don't want to see this anymore, then it doesn't show you content.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna look for it.
I can show you how to do that.
Yes, I need to do that. So how do you feel like people, besides figuring out how to not be, show the ads on their phone, how else do you feel like they can protect themselves? What can they do?
Look, if you're gonna make a purchase, plan for it, put it in your budget, then just go to the source and make that purchase. Don't be so influenced by social media or social media influencers that you're out making a bunch of purchases that you normally wouldn't make. And that's the thing, is if you're buying something, make it a normal and routine purchase that you were intending to do and intending to make anyway.
Yeah.
And when you talk about, budgeting, you have accountability with a partner if you have a partner. But sometimes you gotta, I don't know, I guess like our daughter, you gotta talk to yourself sometimes and say,
oh, you put her business out in the street. No, you didn't.
Everybody talks to themselves, has like, little snippets of conversations.
Do you talk to yourself?
I sometimes be like, man, you the man. Dude, come on.
I talk to you when you're not there. I be having arguments or discussions with you behind the scenes.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, you continuing with your story?
I mean, I'm like, why did he do that? That don't make no sense. Is he still down there watching that movie? Dang, that's loud. Like that literally happened today. I was like, that's loud.
All my movies have explosions.
How many people gonna die in this show? How many people gonna die? I was like, God, that's loud. You know what?
That's hilarious.
I literally today.
That's hilarious.
So I don't know how much I talk to myself as much as I talk to other people, or I talk through something.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Before I talk through something.
The bottom line is talk to somebody before you continue to make purchases that are outside the scope of your budget. Because if you continue to do that, you're never going to accomplish the things that you are seeking to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And that is a level of financial freedom and independence and relationship with your partner or your spouse that can go to new heights, new levels. That's the important part.
Right. And you know what's interesting? I have noticed this is that they will continue to advertise to you even after you purchase. So I do think that getting into your settings and getting super practical here and to see if there's a way to manage that would be good, because they're going to continue to advertise.
It's funny you say that, because I say I have this pending purchase. They're advertising something totally different.
That same company?
The same company. I was like, I didn't even know that they had.
They're like telling
this
you
as a different product.
They're like, upgrade. Let's get you on this next thing. I want another purchase.
It was a totally different thing. Mm-hmm. It was like, these.
But the company knows that you're willing to buy from them.
They were like, buy these stone-washed, oversized tees. I was like, they don't have anything to do with each other.
You know what? So I did buy something. I need you to say whether or not this worked. This was a couple of years ago, but I did buy some like teas. You mentioned teas. I bought teas off of social media.
Yes, you bought those for me. Yes,
I did.
They were nice.
See, so nice. Sometimes it works.
I thought about. I've almost gone back and bought more of them.
So there you go.
And I see the ads. I didn't make the purchase,
right?
But it somehow has it. They advertised to me on my social.
That's so interesting. So anyway, I think we need to get to make it worth it. So I'm going to say how you make it worth it is just make sure that you need the thing versus you just want the thing and you're just going along with the trend, because they're going to continue to try and advertise to you. It might be a really good idea to turn your phone off sometimes and have certain conversations, get into your settings. I'm going to work on that. That's how I'm making it worth it for me. Because they're going to try and get their money. That's what they're out for. You got to be about keeping your money. Yes. That's what you need to be out for. And so if we can find ways to do that so we're not wasting our funds on stuff that doesn't matter, that to me will make it worth it.
Well, they say it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep.
Exactly.
So
what about you?
That's a good make it worth it, Look, I think inherently social media is not bad, but you have to avoid the traps that they can set for you. And I think the more important thing is you have to identify the traps. Like, I knew that was a scam, but I was willing to just experiment just because I wanted to know, just so I could say that, this is a scam.
I'm so glad they didn't charge your card.
I know. And look, we won't even continue down that road. I think you just got to know and be aware.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where it gets twisted up, is preying on our vulnerabilities.
Yes.
And, catering to the things that are of interest to us, or likes, or expressed needs, because then you're so much easier to press the purchase button or the buy now button. And I'm just so much more focused on the bigger things that I want to say yes to. It's easier to say no to a lot of these small things when I know that by saying no to those small things, I can say yes to this big thing.
You know what's interesting is I do think that we probably get advertised to way more than we even purchase, because both of us have purchased off of social media.
Right.
But the advertising is so much more than when we actually press.
I skip more than
purchase.
I skip more than I press, buy, or I scroll past versus, going deeper to see what's there. So we challenge you to do the same thing.
Yes. But I don't know that statistic is going to change. I mean, 75% of people actually purchase. I don't know if that's going to change.
Social media is effective.
It is. That's a good way to wrap it up, is that social media is effective. And so you also need to be effective about your
guard your house, guard your bank account.
There it is. That's it. I love it. Well, this was good.
Until next time,
we're out.
Thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all of your support. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up to receive our free guide, The 7 Reasons Your Money Relationship Isn't Working with Your Partner, on ForBetterandWorth.com.
Until next time, we're out of here.